No, I mean, so inflation, interest rates, money, expenses. Honestly, I think we should talk about expenses. I just really do. We haven't talked about it in such a long time, but America last week broke $1 trillion in credit card debt. $1 trillion in credit card debt.
So when interest rates go down, we're gonna have a lot of cash out refis
Yeah, I mean, there are people cashing out refi now. I mean, people are giving up 3% rates
to
pay off credit cards right now. And so, whereas, that's very good for me as far as my business. That's just, I mean,
horrible for
it's
our
horrible
economy.
for the people because they put themselves in a bad situation. And so, everything starts with a budget. So I just think we need to discuss that.
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
Yeah.
Okay. Just check.
No,
I was
thinking-
like, I'm like,
thinking-
it sure looks like he wants to change it.
No, I went to a different place right there. I'm thinking about credit cards and stuff.
Okay. Hello, Austin, Texas. You're listening to the Home Team with Troy and Wyatt, where we bring sports and money together for your education and entertainment. If you have any questions about anything we say today, please reach out to me at loansfromtroy.com or give me a call at 855-299-HOME. And as always, this segment is brought to you by Security National Mortgage, where we turn houses into homes by financing
Your
American dream. Boy, you went deep on that one.
Well, I had to. I got to change it up a little bit.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and that's changing it up. That's a great way to start this segment. Yeah.
It's time to change things up.
Yes.
Things are changing whether we want them to or not.
That's right.
And we need to adapt. I think that's the big thing right now
Yeah.
is we need to start adapting to the new reality.
Yeah, it's first of all, Tasha Green, LPT Realty, I want to thank you so much for that last segment, especially
Superstar.
going into the reasons of the home, what's going on in the market, the company you work for, and why you need to be thinking about, because real estate it's always, I was talking to a friend of mine who actually grew up, and he was a child when I first met him at like 6 years old. He's now an adult and he works at a brokerage company. He and I were talking, and I was like, well, I bought a home and I bought it for this, and then 8 years later I sold it for this, and then I took that money and I bought two, and then I sold them both for this, and he's like, and he's going, wow, that's kind of, and he's like, you've made a lot of money buying it. So I go, I have. I've always invested along the way too, so you got to do both. And him being raised in the brokerage side, as far as money stockbrokers and stuff like that, he hadn't really thought of real estate. Well, now all of a sudden I'm kind of explaining real estate, and so he's starting to see that is a very viable option. And so you are an excellent person if somebody wants to especially get started. Real quick, what is the best way for someone to reach out to you?
Absolutely. You can reach out to me on social media. I'm on Facebook, Tasha Green. I'm on Instagram at tgreen_realtor. And my phone number is 361-218-2810.
Excellent. So if you're looking for a home and you've decided it's time, or you just want some questions and understand, please reach out to Tasha, because not only are you extremely knowledgeable, but you're very passionate for what you do. So you're going to take very good care of anyone.
Absolutely. If it's a residential purchase or even an investment, I think people have to understand. A lot of people are scared. Think about, I'm paying this higher mortgage payment, different from rent. And people need to understand that having property taxes, and also having, interest rates, those things really do help you. It helps lessen your tax liability to the IRS. So at the end of the day, you might be paying cheaper renting, but guess what? You're owing Uncle Sam at the end of the year $4,000, $5,000, because you don't have anything that you can write off. There's so many things and benefits you can do by having a home. Like you talked about, taking the equity, in the home, pulling it out, investing. It is the most safest thing you can do. It's more secure than the stock market, in my opinion.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, it's tangible too.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You can touch it.
Yeah.
I always like something you can hold in your hand.
Yeah.
Versus some ones and zeros on a computer.
Well, yeah, and don't get me wrong, I'm very much into the stock market and as an alternative. But if you think about it, in 2008, 9, 10, right, the worst the housing market had ever seen. Well, in all of our lifetime, right? But there were also a lot of companies that went out of business. I mean, Circuit City, remember that? That was a company. That was a big company. Right. Stocks, right? So if you owned $100,000 of Circuit City stock and you owned a $100,000 house in 2007. In 2010, you owned a $50,000 house and you owned nothing in Circuit City. And in 2015, you owned a $300,000 house. right? So that's kind of the difference of stocks. When I get asked all the time, stocks or real estate, I say both. I go, but there is a difference.
You have to diversify.
There is a difference. There is a difference. And that's one of the things too, so you were talking about scared. People are kind of scared. Well, I feel, so, that means that I could be right or wrong. I always want to say that. I feel that people, when they make financial decisions out of fear, because two reasons. One, they don't understand the concept of money. And two, they haven't positioned themselves to make good decisions, right? Because America just broke credit card debt of $1 trillion.
That's amazing.
$1 trillion.
And not in a good way.
And you understand that credit card interest rates right now are 18 to 28. In Texas, 25 is max. So it's 18 to 28% is the interest you're paying on $1 trillion. That's a lot. I mean, but what really throws me off is that consumer spending last month over month was up 1%. So Americans are spending more. Their savings are down, their credit card usage is up, and they're spending more.
Are they spending more, or is it because prices are high?
And that is, I do not know that answer.
Well, it's probably both, right? I mean,
it's so funny when I heard that statement. That was the first thought, is like, are they out buying more stuff? Are they buying the same amount of stuff? It's just they're buying it at 10 to 15% more.
I think also, we've heard, recession, the word recession, in the last 5 years, and when they heard it, they're like, oh, well, it came and it went, and I still spent what I usually spend. This will happen again. That's their education with it. Yeah. And this is, again, different from anything else. This is a different animal. This is not 2008. This is not 2021. This is 2023, which is different from anything we've seen.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. This could be the first recession that everybody's got fully employed, first of all. Because I think, employers are shedding 2020, 2021 salaries and hiring 2023 salaries. So they're like, hey, I'm letting you go for 150 and I'm hiring this guy for 65.
Right.
And so, so that's what I think is happening as far as in employment. That's why we're still having full employment, but yet, wages are going down and things like that. So it's a very different, it's a unique economy in that aspect.
But yeah. Speaking of employment, so this brokerage, they're hiring left and right.
Yes, absolutely.
And if you're thinking about, if you're down, maybe you're trying to think of a new career path. This is a good new career path. They can get a hold of you. It's LPT.
Yes.
And how they get a hold of you?
They can get a hold of me on Facebook at Tasha Green, just like it sounds, and then Instagram @tgreen_realtor, or you can call me 361-218-2810.
And you'll help them through the whole process.
Absolutely. I think the most important thing is, and I'm passionate about education and making sure that you're able to make informed decisions. So with my clients, we talk about tax write-offs, budgeting, what's going to happen, as we go up to closing, after closing, because what happens is you close on this property and then you're making big payments on a very large loan. So then, creditors, you look attractive. They're going to start sending you credit cards in the mail. And, take care of your credit. Do not get into a bunch of debt. You need to be saving and stacking for those rainy days. So we talk all about that, scams and different things like that. So it's really important as a realtor not to just, get them in that home and buy, I see you later. I want to be your realtor and your partner through this for lives. And life is constantly changing. If you're growing your family, if you're downsizing, if you're moving, different things. A realtor should support you through all those phases.
And this is why we're excited to have you on the show. We really do appreciate you being here. So
thank you.
Absolutely. And that's one of the things, like you said, once they get into the home, they just kind of like, oh, well, I'm in. I even had a borrower tell me, well, I bought my home. I didn't worry about my credit after that. I had a home. And I'm like,
it's not how that
but
works.
It's not.
Yeah.
And,
well, I'm homesteaded. Well, yeah, still.
Yes, and it's true.
So they can't take it from me.
Yeah, and it's true. As long as you pay for it, they can't take it. But, you get auto insurance. They pull your credit now. So you pay higher insurance with lower credit, so having good credit is very important in every aspect as far, for your expenses, and so maxing out your credit cards right now to keep up with your friends, to the appearance and stuff like that, is what's happening, in my opinion. I feel, and it's the worst thing you can do. I'm much nicer than Dave Ramsey, because Dave Ramsey literally says, you're stupid. I mean, he said, "Hey, you're stupid. You're stupid." And he's like, "You can't earn enough money to outpay stupidity." I've heard him say that. And,
That's rough.
I don't think they're stupid. I think you're uninformed.
Yeah.
I think that you have, you just nobody understands the importance
You
of
haven't
a
been educated.
Yeah. I mean, I did this with Colton. Because Colton now he's 26 years old. He's getting married and all that stuff. I made
Colton's his son.
Yes, and so he's I made him do a budget. I made him come down and spend everything and all that stuff because he was a little stressed about this and that. And then all of a sudden he's like, he goes, "Look how much I spend in miscellaneous." I'm like, "Exactly." I go that all that miscellaneous can go to take care of all this other stuff. And he goes, "It can." So he some people when I do this and they're like, "Oh my God, I have to spend more than I make," and I'm like, "Yes, we have a lot of work to do." So it just depends on your it depends on your situation. But using a credit card for anything other than literally life's total emergencies is not a smart decision right now, especially. And what's happening?
See, I've been good about that. That one's good.
Yeah.
But you still need some of that for credit, though, don't you?
I mean, once you have one, you don't have to actually use it. You pay your $35 a year fee. But it's on there. But the thing is that over the last since 2008, maybe it was 2009. I can't remember when quantitative easing started, and they started buying mortgage-backed securities, and they lowered the prime to 0. Credit cards have been cheap. I mean, like 8-9% cheap. And so people got used to it not being very expensive. Well, in a matter of a year, it went from 8 or 9% to 25% in 1 year. Wow. So if you were carrying a $10,000 deal and you were spending $80 a month, no big deal. Now you're spending like $800 a month, big deal. So and that's what's happened. So now people they're stuck, because they just carried this debt. It didn't cost them a lot. Now all of a sudden it's costing so much that their payments aren't even covering the minimum. And so we're going to have to get out of that. And so it starts with a budget. It starts with sacrifice. I mean, you don't need Paramount Plus. You don't need Disney Plus.
Starbucks.
You don't. Oh my God! Don't get me started
on Starbucks. I'm with you.
I know. It's a great cup of coffee. It totally is, but it's
not for $8.
Yeah, it's $8 now.
That's
My
crazy.
coffee is $8 that I want to get from. I mean, it's literally like a vacation when I go to Starbucks. I'm on vacation, right? And so I'm like, and I don't have them very often, and it was like $7.50 for a cup of coffee. I'm like, I'm out. Yeah. I can't do that. I can't even enjoy that on vacation anymore.
But is it $8 good?
No. Well, it might be. But yeah, so just, budget. If you need some help with the budget, reach out to me. I love helping people. I've helped a lot of people over the years. I say a lot, it's a lot to me. But reach out to me. Let's get you started because you need to get off this credit card. And I'm not going to call you stupid. I'm going to call you uninformed. Hey everyone, you've been listening to the Home Team with Troy and Wyatt. We hope you've enjoyed what you've heard so far. If you have any questions about anything we say today, please reach out to me at loansfromtroy.com or give me a call at 855-299-HOME. And as always, this segment is brought to you by Security National Mortgage, where we turn houses into homes. See you in just a minute.